What's up guys, my name's Brandon and I have not purchased a MacBook since 2011. So this is the 2011 MacBook Pro, and of course just recently I did upgrade to the 2019 MacBook Pro 16-inch. I figured it was time for an upgrade, a major upgrade, so I went through with it and got the higher end base model for a cool $3,000. So in this video, I wanted to review the MacBook Pro after using it for a little while and talk about how it compares to my previous MacBook Pro, how well it handles 4K video editing, how well it handles gaming, how it compares to the 2018 MacBook Pro, and much more. And I decided to go with the higher end base model here for a couple of reasons. So number one, I'm not going to be using this MacBook except for when I'm traveling, since I do have a 5K iMac here in the office. And number two, because I wanted to give those of you who only have the budget for the base model an idea as to what you can expect with your laptop and if it's even worth purchasing. So yes, we have the 2.3 gigahertz 8-core i9 processor with turbo boost up to 4.8 gigahertz. And we also have 16 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM, which is a nice starting point for the price. But if you plan on video editing or doing really intensive tasks, you're probably going to find this to be a bit lackluster. So you may want to go ahead and upgrade the RAM. And the reason you want to upgrade it when you buy it is because the RAM is built in. So you're not going to be able to add on with third-party sticks like you could in the past, which sucks because you do have to spend a lot more money on the RAM now than you did in the past. Especially me with my old 2011 here, I was easily able to add like 30 gigs of RAM for a super cheap price, much cheaper than what Apple sells RAM for. As for the graphics card, this guy has the AMD Radeon Pro 550M with 4 gigabytes of memory. And of course it has the base 1 terabyte SSD drive for storage, which is plenty if you use external drives a lot like I do. And speaking by the way of that GPU, you can also upgrade that for $100, but just know that I'm covering the base model here and just the base model, just the one you can actually go to the Apple Store and pick up today. We have pretty much the exact same design as the 2018 MacBook Pro here, and pretty much the same weight as well, which is about half a pound lighter, by the way, than my 13-inch MacBook Pro from 2011. So a 16-inch MacBook Pro with a much larger battery and much bigger screen is half a pound lighter than the 13-inch from 2011. So Apple's definitely come a long way in reducing the weight and overall bulk of the MacBooks over time. The bezels are also the smallest we've ever seen before on a MacBook, which is really, really nice. It makes the whole experience of watching videos and pretty much doing anything a really nice immersive experience. We also have the OLED touch bar here, which was my first time ever using. I did use it in the Apple Store, but I've never owned a MacBook with the touch bar there. And overall, I like it. I mean, I like being able to quickly adjust the brightness and the volume right there. It's really easy to just, go up and down with the volume and the brightness. You can just kind of slide over like this just to, turn up and turn down the brightness and the volume. Everything else though is, I don't want to say it's gimmicky, but I just feel like I'm a lot more efficient when I use keys like shortcuts or the mouse or something. I feel like that's still just quicker than using the touch bar for other tasks. I do like how it has, if you start typing something right here, it will actually show the predictive text right there, which is really nice. I do actually use it for that. That's one of the few things I use the touch bar a lot for. We also have the Touch ID sensor for logging in with your fingerprint, which was also new to me. And of course, I absolutely love having that convenience instead of typing in a password every time you unlock your MacBook. I also like how it has its own standalone button. It's not kind of just in here with the touch bar. You don't get confused. You know exactly where that button is to put your finger. On the sides, we do have the same 4 Thunderbolt 3 ports as found on previous models, 2 on each side, along with a good old headphone jack, which is nice to have if you still do have wired headphones. As for the beautiful display, we have a 15.4-inch screen with a resolution of 2880 by 1800, along with True Tone, which gives off more vibrant colors. And really, it's not a 4K, screen. It's not a 4K monitor, but it looks as close to 4K as you can get. It's a really, really awesome looking screen. The colors just pop. Everything about this display is just really nice, especially when we have that near edge to edge display. It's just a thing of beauty. And it's definitely nice for me because I came from the 2011 MacBook Pro, which obviously had pretty much more bezel than screen. And even my 5K iMac has huge bezels all around it. So it's really nice to get a nearly, edge to edge display here on this MacBook Pro. It looks just awesome. I genuinely enjoy watching Netflix movies and TV shows on this MacBook, whereas I really never wanted to in the past. I mean, it was partly because it got hot on my lap, but also partly because the image quality and just the sound wasn't that great. I would have rather watched it on my iPad or the TV, but due to the amazing crispy quality and the upgraded speakers as well, entertainment on the 16-inch MacBook Pro is just on another level. We not only have an all-new 6-speaker sound system, but also a pair of force-canceling woofers, one in each side here. And one thing's for sure, I mean, the sound that this laptop produces is far better than any laptop I've ever heard. The audio sounds so good that I've yet to reach for my headphones when I'm listening to music or when I'm gaming or when I'm watching a show. It's really just that good. Another major upgrade from any previous MacBook Pro is the improved microphone. Never before did I imagine that I could record audio good enough for a video here on my channel from my MacBook Pro's built-in microphone. It's really that good. I know John Morrison made a video, with a whole interview just using the built-in microphone on this MacBook Pro. I've seen other YouTubers do videos on it as well. It is really incredible how good the audio quality is. Another one of the big changes with this MacBook compared to recent ones is the switch back to the old scissor style switches in the keyboard. And that is great since a lot of people had major issues with that butterfly keyboard. Keys would just stop working, they would malfunction, just so many issues with it. So Apple finally went back and implemented this old scissor style keyboard, which everybody so far has been super positive about, and just typing on it, it feels excellent. And speaking of things going wrong, if you guys remember last year with the 2018 MacBook Pros, there were major issues with thermal throttling and the MacBook getting extremely hot under load. That's actually the big reason why, that's the only reason really, why I did not buy a new MacBook last year, because I've been needing to upgrade for a while, but I did not upgrade because of the thermal throttling. And while nothing design-wise has changed internally with the new MacBook Pro here in 2019, Apple has completely eliminated this issue thanks to higher quality thermal paste being used inside. So because of this, you're not going to suffer from any kind of thermal throttling, even under really heavy load. And Linus actually tested this over on his channel, and the results were very interesting. I will link that video down below if you're interested in seeing the difference in thermal throttling between this and the 2018 MacBook Pro. So clearly heat dissipation is a huge deal to me, and it should really be to anybody looking for a laptop. I mean, you don't want to burn your legs off when you have a laptop sitting on your lap. So obviously I came from a 2011 MacBook Pro, which got extremely hot, even if you weren't doing anything on it. So the difference in these two are obviously night and day. I mean, this thing does not get nearly as hot as the 2011 MacBook Pro did, obviously. But even if you compare it to a 2018 MacBook Pro, you're gonna notice that it doesn't get quite as hot quite as quickly. Now, one area where MacBooks usually start to heat up is with video editing or gaming. Those are really the two most intensive tasks you can do on any computer. And with video editing being one of the main reasons that I bought this laptop, probably the number one reason actually that I bought this laptop, I'm pleased to say that I can smoothly edit 4K footage from my GH5 without any noticeable lag or, scorching hot heat rising from behind the keyboard right here. And in terms of performance, it performs impressively well, almost as well as my 5K iMac, which has 40 gigabytes of RAM, which this has 16, and a better GPU with double the memory. I have 8 gigabytes of memory on the iMac 4 on this MacBook. So if you're wanting to get a powerhouse laptop for video or photo editing, the 2019 MacBook Pro is easily one of the best on the market today. And once again, this is just the higher end base model. You can upgrade the RAM, you can upgrade the video card, all that stuff for just a couple $100s. Now, as for gaming, I did play a good amount of Fortnite and Counter-Strike, and to my surprise, it performs just about as good as my 5K iMac, which has 2.5 times the amount of RAM and double the GPU memory. Now, there are random frame drops and random freezes. I actually had to fully shut down my MacBook one time because it froze up on Fortnite. I had to hold the escape key and just completely hard reboot the device, but I noticed that it was only in the menus and when I was loading into the game and things like that. Gameplay itself is very smooth and I don't really have frame drops or anything, and I play in full 60 FPS. Just make sure you are plugged into a charger when you're gaming though, because it will eat away at your battery and also cause lag at the same time. It's just not fun if you aren't plugged in to the charger. Now, speaking of that battery, we have a 100 watt hour battery inside, and battery life is just fantastic. And unless you're gaming, or video editing or something really intensive like that, you're going to be getting hours and hours of usage without needing to even think about charging up. So that's what makes this thing great to take on trips. If you want to travel with it, it's great for that. And just to do light work like web browsing or watching videos, watching media, it's great for all of that. Apple says that you can get up to 11 hours of web surfing time on a single charge, and that is super, super impressive. You also get a 96-watt USB-C charging block in the box, so it is going to charge up your MacBook very quickly, whether you're in sleep mode or if you're using the MacBook, if you're like editing videos or playing games, it's still gonna charge it up to 100% pretty quickly, and it's not gonna just hover on the percentage you're at because you're playing an intensive game or using a lot of battery life. So yeah, overall, the 2019 MacBook Pro 16-inch is easily the best laptop or MacBook I've ever owned, and it's not even close. The performance is excellent, the speakers and mic quality are on a whole nother level, the battery life is fantastic and far better than anything I've been used to, and the price is fair. I mean, it's a MacBook Pro. You can't ever expect cheap or budget pricing for a MacBook Pro. And again, there are two base model configurations for the 16-inch. These are configurations, laptops that you can actually go into the Apple Store and pick up today that you don't have to custom make. So there's a 6-core i7 with a 512GB SSD and a Radeon Pro 5300M for $2399. And then there's the one I have right here, which is the 8-core i9 with a 1TB SSD and a Radeon Pro 5500M for $400 more at $2799. So I think that this MacBook is a great buy for pretty much everyone. It's a great complement to content creators who need an on-the-go video editing solution like I do, and it's also great for your average consumer who just wants a blazing fast laptop that's going to last you like 10 years. And that's a reason why they're so expensive, is because if you can use it for 10 years, divide 3,000 by 10, and that's how much it's going to cost you a year to own this laptop. It makes a lot more sense and a lot more reasonable. The price is a lot more reasonable if you look at it that way. I'd even say that this MacBook Pro is great for students who have a larger budget or just asking for it as a gift, although there are other cheaper and more compact options out there like the MacBook Air. Just don't expect the Air to even come close in terms of speed, sound, battery life, mic quality, really anything compared to the Pro. But anyways, guys, that's pretty much it. That is my review on the 2019 MacBook Pro 16-inch. I absolutely love this device. Let me know if you have this MacBook or what MacBook you have. Let me know down in a comment below. Also, let me know if you want to see anything else with the 2019 MacBook Pro. So anyways, hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and of course subscribe so you don't miss any future content. So anyways, guys, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you soon.